Bonding. Bonding is, it sounds very simple, right? But this can make or break your session. So it's very important that you connect with people and bond with them. Now, what does bonding mean, right? Um, so when you started the presentation, when you started the public speaking, let's say on the stage, you connected with them. You have understood what kind of audience they are, what is their motive, and therefore you have connected with them. You have made a presentation which goes hand in hand, or which kind of is syncing with the audience and their motive, right? Now we will also have to see, how do you carry forward that connection throughout the session, right? We will talk about the connection. Okay, if I may say, the connection throughout the session that you do is bonding. Okay, now how do you build a connection when there can be so many other aspects to it, right? The first, therefore, is bonding with people. We discussed about it, that you start with such a connection and you carry that on, make it more interactive. We'll talk about the interaction at a later stage, but you make it interactive, smile, talk to them, um, address them with names. You might want to give examples with names rather than calling them sir, ma'am, or whatever. You can just call names, right? How else can you bond? The presentation that you make, try and make it more relevant to practical life, something that they can relate to. You know the audience, right? That's what we started with. So now that you know the audience, it is important that the examples you give, the situations you talk about, should be relevant to the public out there. So the people, right? You need to bond with them, be in their shoes to understand what they are going through. And that is how you bond. The second thing is with the subject. Absolutely. Like I mentioned earlier, you need to know the subject knowledge. You need to have the subject knowledge and you have to bond with the subject. Now, what does that mean? It means you have to be comfortable with the subject. Now, if someone tells me to talk about politics, I may know the subject, but I am not comfortable talking about it. I cannot speak about it in public. It is not because of any, you know, likes or dislikes or whatever. It's just that I don't feel I know about it so much to talk about it in public, right? I need to know a lot more about politics. If someone talks to me about communication, I would be more than happy to speak about it in public at any given point in time, right? Because I love that. That's my passion. And I'm confident while talking about it. Okay, so that is how I bond with it. You know, when I'm just reading through any book, I am just going out and maybe I'm just at a function. I observe people, I observe how they communicate and see what could have been better in their communication. When two people talk or when two people fight, I kind of observe them and see what could have been better, uh, uh, to communicate better, what could have been better to change the situation. So what I'm trying to say is, in my mind, somewhere at the back of my mind, I am always communicating with myself. I am bonding with the subject of communication, right? You have to bond with it. You have to kind of be comfortable talking about it. Now, if you're a data scientist, if you love mathematics, someone talks to you about data science and you love that subject, you would want to talk about it over and over again. You will never think about your confidence. You will not think about the energy levels, your passion. You wouldn't think about all of these. These things will only come back when you are talking about all of these, but to a person who speaks better than you or your senior, isn't it? Think about it. So if you actually bond with your subject, bond in a way that you will not be uncomfortable talking about it in front of anyone. Be it your senior, be it your colleagues, be it someone who speaks better than you, not better than you, anything. It should not be situational. Bonding is bonding, right? You love your parents irrespective of whatever it is. You love your children irrespective of whatever they do. That is bonding, right? So bond with the subject in a way that you're comfortable talking about it and communicating about it at any given point of time, at any given conditions or situations. That is bonding with the subject. Now we come to bonding with technology. Okay, bonding with technology would mean not only the system that you are speaking with or the microphone, it would also mean the environment. If you're on a stage, what are the lights like? Which side is the light focusing on? Um, where is your audience exactly sitting? So what angle should you talk in? How would you stand on the stage to speak comfortably? What microphone are you using, of course, and how loud do you have to speak? All of that will come into the picture. Okay, so it's important that you do some research before you actually be on the stage. So you stand on the stage before the presentation, before the event, and stand there, do some testings, and only then would you proceed. Okay, if it's an online connection like this, if it's an online course or session you are conducting, prepare for it before the session begins so that you know what is it exactly happening and what are the challenges, what's your microphone like, what's your camera like, what are the again, what's the who's the audience, how comfortable will they be on video or audio, and all of that. Be very, very comfortable with that. Okay, or else you will start losing confidence when you see someone's switched on the video and someone's not on the video and you're not able to understand who to talk to. Yeah, it's very, very distracting. You might want to be very, very sure with your technology before you start. Okay, so that's about with the bonding. Now we'll talk about the fourth segment or the element, that is L, and that is language. Very important. Get you there in a minute.